Babbages was a consumer electronics retailer that opened in 1984 and was rebranded in 1999. Thank you for your suggestion. James McCurry and Gary Cusin attended Harvard Business School together, had discussed going into business together, but decided to go their separate directions after graduation. McCurry became a consultant for Bain & Company's San Francisco office, while Cusin became a Dallas-based general merchandise manager for the Sanger Harris division of Federated Department Stores. In 1982, McCurry approached Cusin with a business proposal to establish a chain of software stores that would capitalize on the growing computer and home video game industries. His idea was based on the expectation that increasing consumer interest in computer equipment and games would make the specialty store the ideal marketing outlet. Cusin, who had been watching such specialty stores gradually take over department store businesses, liked the idea, and at the end of the year, both men quit their jobs and began seeking startup financing for a software business. McCurry's and Cusin's business plan met with little interest among venture capitalists until February 1983, when businessman Ross Perot, who knew Cusin's family in Texarkana, offered to provide a $3 million credit line in exchange for one-third ownership in the company. Perot had advised the entrepreneurs to start with one store before they initiated their ambitious plan to open 20 stores at once. He figured that they would need to learn to manage themselves until they knew the business inside and out. They chose the name Babbages, named for Charles Babbage, the 19th century British mathematician generally credited with inventing the first major forerunner of a computer. McCurry and Cusin took Perot's money and advice, and on Memorial Day 1983, they opened the first Babbages store in the North Park Center Mall in Dallas, Texas. McCurry, the company's chairperson, managed the company's finances, while Cusin, the company's president, acquired software products from local distributors. Both partners took turns opening and closing the store and seeing to other administrative details. During this time, McCurry and Cusin tested their business strategy, which involved 4 key provisions: a constantly updated mix of products, a competitive pricing system, a flexible store design with sections devoted to various computer and entertainment platforms and software categories, and an enthusiastic non-commissioned sales staff that would not intimidate customers with technical jargon. 2 months after opening the first Babbage's store, McCurry and Cusin met their sales projections and hired their first full-time employee, Mary Evans, who later became vice president of the stores. Between Labor Day and Thanksgiving of 1983, Evans helped open and manage 4 more Dallas area stores. Babbages set a precedent of selling entertainment software for the most popular computer and video game systems at the time. The dominant home video game system was the Atari 2600, which featured 4-color graphics. In 1984, Babbage's first full year of operations, the company lost $560,000 on sales of $3 million. 2 years later, it broke even after generating nearly $10 million in revenues from an expanded chain of 23 stores. Eventually, Atari was superseded by Nintendo and Sega of America systems, and Babbage's redirected its product line accordingly. In 1987, Babbage's added another 35 stores and began selling software for the then-dominant 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System with 16-color graphics. The retail chain store was all located in regional shopping centers. Specializing in programs for home entertainment, productivity, and educational use, Babbage's outlets sold software in cartridge, floppy disk, and CD-ROM formats, supporting more than a dozen major personal computers and video game system platforms. Babbage's product line consisted of over 1,400 items, which generally sold for below manufacturer's list prices. Major brands of video game systems, game software, and other entertainment software for personal computers represented about 2/3 of the company's sales. The company also sold computer accessories and supplies. In July of 1988, Babbage's took its software specialty store concept public. Following the public offering, Perot tendered his stake in the company, and Babbage's continued accelerating its expansion drive with the proceeds of stock sales, opening 50 new stores that year to give the company 108 retail outlets. In 1989, Babbage's began losing business due to severe allocations of video games. Struck by a string of losses in the first 3 quarters of the year, the company responded by reducing prices on the leading computer software titles and adding new cartridge-based video games to its line. In the fall, Babbage's helped introduce the new 16-bit 64-color Sega Genesis entertainment system, which quickly changed the landscape of the video game industry. Because of its superior qualities, Sega Genesis generated a renewed interest in home video game systems. Rising sales of the entertainment systems and software contributed to a strong 1989 holiday sales season for Babbage's. 53 new stores opened in 1989, bringing the company's total to 160, and a barrage of new low profit margins pushed the company's earnings and its stock trading value down. By 1990, Babbage's stock values had plummeted and the chain had opened only 19 stores. They soon focused on cost-cutting measures and improved inventory turnover. Moreover, a new computerized point-of-sale inventory system was established, tracking sales and inventory after each business day and automatically generating orders for shipment from the company's Dallas warehouse the following morning. Powered by the surge in video game systems and software, including Sega's 16-bit Genesis and Nintendo's handheld Game Boy player, the company's revenues rose. With the company in improved financial shape, Babbage's boosted its number of stores from 178 to 204. In 1992, Babbage's added more than 40 new stores and began selling a CD-ROM peripheral attachment for the Sega 16-bit system that allowed interaction with digitized video footage. Sparked by a price war in the computer industry, sales of IBM-compatible software and 16-bit video systems and software rose substantially. The company's earnings increased 21% and sales jumped 24%. In the fall of 1993, Babbage's began selling Panasonic's 32-bit game system, which operated through compact discs. This new technology threatened to render the 16-bit systems obsolete, and Babbage's experienced rapid decline in its sales of video game systems and software during the Christmas season, with the average Babbage store posting 5% lower sales than the year earlier. Realizing that the market for 16-bit technology had matured, Babbage slashed prices on hundreds of video game titles earlier the following year in an effort to unload its inventory of increasingly dated software. In 1993, Babbage's opened 56 new stores. At this point, entertainment software continued to comprise about 2/3 of Babbage's business. Education and productivity software, along with computer supplies and accessories, accounted for the remaining third. By 1994, Babbage's was a 300-store chain and plans to open between 30 or 40 more stores that year. As a result of the holiday season price reductions, Babbage's stores had substantially reduced their inventory. Babbage's began facing increasing competition from other software specialty stores. Mass merchandisers, computer centers and superstores, electronics stores, toy stores, and mail-order outlets, many of which were larger operations and had greater resources at their disposal. In 1994, Babbage's merged with Software Etc., a retailer that specialized in personal computing software, to create Neostar Retail Group in 1994. The merger was structured as a stock swap where shareholders of Babbages and Software, etc., received shares of Neostar, a newly formed holding company. In May of 1996, Neostar merged its Babbages and Software, etc. units into a single organization amid declining sales. In September of that year, after Neostar was unable to secure a credit necessary to purchase inventory necessary for the holiday season, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. In November of 1996, the assets of Neostar were purchased for $58.5 million by Leonard Riggio, a founder of Software, etc. and chairman and principal stockholder of Barnes & Noble. 200 retail stores were not included in the transaction and were closed. In 1999, Babbages, etc. launched its GameStop brand with 30 stores in strip malls. The company also launched GameStop.com, a website that allowed consumers to purchase video games online. GameStop.com was promoted in Babbages and Software, etc. stores. In October of 1999, Barnes & Noble booksellers purchased Babbages, etc. for $215. They later purchased another video game retailer named Funko, and this significant change paved the way for GameStop to develop. Babbages and Software, etc. was renamed GameStop. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.